Hey everyone, welcome back to the Hidden Brick, where today we're going to build the Lego Technic Pullback Getaway Racer. This is set number 42046, 170 pieces, and of course this is what they call the pullback series. Basically means there's a motor in there, or a spring-loaded type of motor, where you pull it back and then you release it, and that's where it releases the power to roll down the road. It's not a 2-in-1, but what it is, it's a combo 2-in-1. You can combine these two sets and make this goofy looking vehicle. I usually never do that because it's a goofy looking vehicle. So let's go ahead and open this guy up and see what we have in here. This is one of those boxes that it shows you to use your finger. So you're supposed to put your finger in there and basically rip the box open. There's no tape or anything on here. It's just held together with a thin line of glue. So you can see I could easily put my finger in there and kind of spread it open, dump the contents out. So we have a loose lift arm. Here's the pullback motor I was talking about. So there's the little axle input, and then there's a spring in here that basically when you pull it back, it puts tension on the spring and then releases the saved power. There's actually two loose beams in there. We have a really large sticker sheet. It's large considering the size of this set. And then there's unnumbered bags of our Technic elements. So let me go ahead and move this down so we can... Oh, then there's also one instruction book. It's actually in good shape. It looks like it was probably put in the box first, and then all of these bags were put on top of it. So here's our bag of large parts. Move the wheels and tires off to the side, so we know that's probably the last thing that will be put on. There's a bag of medium size and then a bag of small parts. And I definitely recommend dumping all the bags in their own little pile versus just dumping it all in one pile, because it's easier to find them if they're in their pile with the bags that they came with. Because all the parts, like all of these type of parts are in one bag, and then all of the smaller friction pins are in one bag. So by keeping them in their own piles, you can easily find them because you will see them all together in one pile. Alright, so here's the beginnings. We use these 3 long friction pins. And we take, let's see here, this piece. We have a regular friction pin and a friction pin / axle combo. Axle, sorry. This attaches here. And we have this, I like to call it an L-shaped lift arm. Go there. And what am I looking for? There it is. It's a 2 long friction pin with an axle connector on the end. So each step, it does give you a little part to call out. Sometimes it's easier to pull those parts together to make sure that you don't forget a part in a step. This is a small enough model to where I think I could probably follow along enough to not miss anything, but best practices are to try to use those part callouts as much as you can. Alright, got a couple more of the 3 long friction pins. I will attach onto that one. Okay, we're going to grab our pullback motor. I have this 5 long axle. Put a thin bushing in there, or a half bushing. Slide it through this pinhole on the top, and then put another half bushing on there. Okay, try to center it the best you can. They give you a little one-to-one diagram in there if you want to use that. I've built enough Technic sets that I can kind of eyeball it, although maybe that is not the best thing to do. Okay, so we're connecting things to this thin little lift arm piece. Yeah, we have a connector to this. This will actually just go through there. Need a black, is that black? Yeah, black axle joiner. There's one bag that has a lot of black parts in it, and they all blend together. This model is actually all dark gray and black, so it's very Batman-esque, meaning it's built using only black or very dark gray, as Batman would like to say. That's what he builds in. Okay. That looks good. Looks like we have everything on there. And right under here, attach this right there. So everything looks like it came together nicely. It's kind of one of those moment of truths. If everything is lined up just right, it will go on. If it's not, then you've got some problem solving to do. But it looks like we nailed it on the first try here. So we'll put this other long beam on there. Couple friction pins. Now we have this other piece, so you can kind of see we're repeating the other side. All right. Okay, with the model turned, looks like they want us to put this here. Oops. Switch hands real quick. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to line these up with my right hand. Okay. And we'll insert a 3-long friction pin in here. Very good. Put it down. A 6-long axle with a black thin lift arm. It slides onto that axle that's already on there, and then we take the other half of the thin lift arm and slide it on. Kind of line those axles. The axles are supposed to be centered on there as best you can. But once you start getting those thin lift arms on there, they have a lot of grip, and they're really hard to move them very much. Alright. This 5-long axle and a 3-long friction pin. Go there. Okay, just like the other side. Put one of these on with our 3-long piece. Now we have a 12-long axle, and they do give you a 1-to-1 diagram in the instruction book if you don't know the lengths of them. You can line it up with the instruction books. That's what I did, because they show also where to slide this piece on. So this slides through these holes, and then we're going to insert another bushing on this side. And these bushings are the front wheel tire combo is going to go on here, so don't push those bushings on too tight or else the wheels won't be able to turn. So you need to leave a little bit of wiggle room. See, wiggling it a bit to allow that to not have a lot of friction. So unlike a lot of Technic models, this one actually does not have really any Technic functions. There's no gears, no type of selection switches or steering or anything that's going on it. It's almost a half Technic model, because it's just using a lot of Technic pieces to build it and less of the gears. So if you're into the pullback stuff, it's highly playable. That's the good thing about it, is this thing has probably the highest playability for someone that likes to speed cars through their house. But if you're into kind of a realistic functioning type of vehicle, then this probably isn't the model for you. Alright, we have some headlight pieces. So we put these little pins with stud on the end, and then we're attaching a trans clear 1x1 round tile. These will both slide onto this exposed axle. So that's our front headlight. This is our front bumper. So we're starting to do the body work now. Let's see here, we have a 5 long. Insert a bushing about halfway. Okay. We have these 3 longs that we just barely put in. Attach it right here, because we're going to put something else in here to slide those all the way in. Have the L-shaped lift arm, as I like to call it. That goes there. Alright, now it's time for panels. They do put little numbers in there. You can see right there it says number 4, it's molded on there. So the instructions will call out a particular number for these panels, and that is what they're referring to, is the number that's on there. So after a while the panels all do kind of look the same, so that number does help out a bunch if you're confused with them. So we are putting our first sticker on. It is sticker number 5. These stickers are going to help a lot to stylize the model, kind of give it its paint job, for lack of a better word. Okay. This will attach to those blue friction pins that are exposed. We have panel number 3. It's going to get sticker number 4. Oops, didn't come off. So these panels, the stickers, are shaped specifically for these shaped panels, so believe it or not, they're kind of tricky to get on. But it looks like I was able to get those on okay. Alright, so line that up. There we go. So that's kind of the hood of our vehicle. Looks like we're about halfway through the instruction book at this point. We're getting close to being done. We have a steering wheel. So these will be inserted into those panels. And now the steering wheel portion go there. Alright, so we have another 12 long axle. We're going to slide some bushings on. And there's a diagram in the instruction book that shows exactly where these need to line up. So I'm kind of off camera doing it, but that's where they told me to put them. Just like that. And this slides through our pullback motor, that little orange axle hole in there. So this will allow us to put our rear wheels and tires on. Same with the other side. Don't push these bushings on too tight. Give it a little bit of wiggle room. See, there's some wiggle room in there. I'll slide the other one on, making sure that that wiggle room stays intact. Alright, we have these angled axle connectors that we're going to make two of. This is the first one. Here's the second one. And these are our giant exhaust ports for our big engine on this imaginary car. Another one of these L lift arms. I have this 2 long black axle with a 1 long friction pin on the end. Goes there. A couple pins. More friction pins. So if you want to get into Technic, you better get used to these black friction pins and putting them on, because that's pretty much the glue that holds all of these Technic pieces together, are those friction pins. Not literal glue, but it's the parts that will connect them together. Okay, so you see we've kind of built this cool little lowrider type roof to the cabin. And we have a couple more. These axle joiners. Put a 3 long axle. And this one has a perpendicular pinhole, and then it's kind of angled. And the purpose of this is we can, you can see, put it on here and kind of create some stylized bodywork. Two more friction pins on this. We have panel number 3. Check my number, make sure I got the right panel. Then we're going to put 3 of these 3 long friction pins. That piece and that piece on there. Now we have 3 more friction pins. So this is a beefy little connector piece. We have another panel number 3. Put 2 more friction pins on. That goes down here. So we've created this big assembly. Still not done. We have this piece to put on it. Turn it around. Now we have stickers to go on it. We have sticker number 7 and sticker number 3. I'm going to start with sticker number 3 first. So we've got the skull on fire going on down the side of the car here. Sticker number 7 is a continuation of that white flame. Okay, not bad. Turn it on the side and this. Where does this go? It appears to go right here. Yeah, that's where it goes. Because this piece here lines up with the axle. It's sticking out there, so it all goes together. Okay, very good. So we'll move that off to the side. It looks like we're gonna repeat the build. It's just gonna be a mirrored version of it for the other side. So we have the same panels that we used on the other side, except they're the opposite versions of them. A lot of friction pins. And these are going to use up most all of the pins that are remaining in this portion of the bag, or the actually the whole set, because remember, we're almost done with it. Okay, that goes there. Turn it around. Got sticker number 6. It's the skull on fire sticker, just like the other side, with the flame stripe for the other side as well. Line that up best I can. That actually looks better than the other side. I must be getting good at this, huh? You don't have to answer that. I mean, you can answer it. I won't be able to hear you anyway. Alright. So that creates some cool body styling. It's still kind of open up here on the front, which Technic sets typically don't fill in every little gap. They stylize it enough to let your imagination fill in the blanks. Once we put the wheels and tires on, though, I bet it'll look pretty full. Alright, we have another wheel and tire, one more right here. These are thin little tires. You can see the side profile is not very thick at all. So it's a giant wheel with a very thin profile tire. So each one of these goes on those axles, and when you slide them on, make sure you don't put any, remember we have some wiggle room in here, make sure you don't squeeze those bushings on too tight, or else you'll lose all that wiggle room that we carefully made sure that we had. Okay, so there's all of the wheels and tires. So the last thing we have is we have some stickers that go on these little bushing type pieces. They're going to be used as wheel covers. So there's sticker number 2 and sticker number 1. They're actually slightly different. So sticker number 2 goes on the left side of the vehicle. And round stickers on a round Lego element sound easy, because you know they should, you know, line up perfectly, but they actually don't. You have to leave a little bit of a margin, I guess you would say, on the side where you start to put it on. Alright, so sticker number 2, these pieces go over here. So those will cover up most all of that gold color. And these are sticker number 1, which will make our last sticker. So we wait till the very last step to use all of the stickers. Here's the last sticker. Goes there. That goes there. So there you go. How cool is that? You got this getaway racer. It's kind of a hot rod style race car. So the way it works is I'm going to put it up towards the front here while pushing down on it, basically pushing on the tail. You hear it clicking a little bit. That's the spring-loaded piece going. And then when I release it, it launched off the table and into a bin of Lego off to the side of the room there. So it actually launched a good 5 or 6 feet. But the beauty of Lego Technic sets, and that's probably why they use these pullback motors in Lego Technic, is they are such a strong built model because of all those pins and everything. There's not a lot of way that it can pop off easily. These things can crash into walls, they can jump off of stairs, off of tables. Obviously you saw it jump off the table. Not a single thing happened to it. So extremely strong model. So if you're a parent looking for a good toy for your kids, this is probably one of the best Lego toys that they can have fun with, because you're not going to have to be rebuilding it a lot. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more Technic videos, I got a lot on this channel. Got a lot of Lego build videos on this channel, not just Technic. But if Technic is your thing, check out my other videos. I have a whole playlist of all my Technic stuff, so a lot of good stuff in there. Check it out, and we'll see you in the next one.